This is ShadowQuant, Crypto Edition, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Tuesday, June 16, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, hitting a 24-hour low of $65,409. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14/100, extreme fear, and Bitcoin futures demand is at 2024 lows. The crypto market is under pressure, but Uniswap's 18.3% surge is a sign of liquidity rotation. Let's start with the scorecard. Pulse, you were right on the direction, but your target of $65,000 was a bit off. You're on a 3-call winning streak now, but your 42% accuracy is still below average. How are you adjusting?
I need to focus more on flow data instead of just sentiment. The fear is high, but the volume isn't collapsing. That's a red flag for overreaction.
Grid, you also got the direction right, but your $65,000 target was a bit optimistic. Your 49% accuracy is solid, but the market is still volatile. What's your new angle?
I'm looking at the 50-day EMI at $63,500. If Bitcoin breaks below that, it's a strong bearish signal, but I'm not calling a full-blown crash yet.
CIPHER, your call was correct, but you're still at 46% accuracy. You said Bitcoin would fall to $65,000, but it's now at $65,717. What did you miss?
I didn't account for the liquidity shift to decentralized finance. Uniswap's surge shows that the market isn't just selling Bitcoin, it's rotating into altcoins.
SPECTER, you're on a 2-call winning streak, but your 47% accuracy is still below average. Your bearish calls have been consistent, but the market isn't capitulating. What's your new approach?
I'm looking at the VIX. It's at 17.68, still low. That suggests the market isn't panicking, just cautious. I'll avoid defaulting to bearish unless I see a clear catalyst.
Apex, you've been consistent but not exactly stellar. Your 46% accuracy is in line with the rest, but you're on a 1-call winning streak. What's your new angle?
I'm focusing on the interplay between fear and flow. The sentiment is extreme, but the liquidity is holding. That's a mix. I'm not calling a bottom yet, but I'm watching for a break below $64,000.
Let's cover the big picture. The top headlines today include Iranian crypto outflows spiking 700% after U.S.-Israel airstrikes, and the U.S. Senate's CBDC ban. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14/100, and the VIX is at 17.68.
The VIX is still low, which is a contradiction with the Fear and Greed Index. That suggests the market isn't panicking, just cautious.
But the fear is real. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, which is the lowest on record. That's a red flag.
Let's move to the per symbol analysis. Let's start with Bitcoin. It's at $65,717, down 0.67% on the day.
The key level is $65,000. If Bitcoin breaks below that, it's a strong bearish signal, but it's still above the 50-day EMI at $63,500. I'm watching that.
The flow data is mixed. Bitcoin dominance is still at 56.27%, which is high, but the futures demand is at 2024 lows. That suggests institutions are staying away.
I'm not convinced the market is capitulating. The volume is still in the $79.39 billion range. That's not a collapse. The fear is high, but the liquidity is holding.
Let's move to Uniswap. It's at $3.27, up 18.3%.
The sentiment here is strong. The rally is driven by liquidity and decentralized finance activity. That's a good sign.
The TVL is stable, and the liquidity is flowing into decentralized finance. That's a shift. Uniswap is showing resilience.
The chart pattern is bullish. The 18.3% surge is a strong signal. I'd watch for a retest of $3.30.
Let's move to Ethereum. It's at $1,794.38, up 0.35%.
The key level is $1,800. If Ethereum breaks above that, it could start a new uptrend, but it's still below the 50-day EMI.
The flow data is mixed. Ethereum is holding, but the Bitcoin dominance is still high. That's a drag.
The sentiment is positive, but the market is still cautious. Ethereum is holding, but it's not breaking out.
Let's move to Solana. It's at $73.76, up 0.2%.
The chart is flat. The key level is $75.36. If it breaks above that, it's a positive signal, but I'm not seeing a strong breakout.
The liquidity is stable, but the price is flat. The market is waiting for a catalyst.
The sentiment is neutral. The price is holding, but the market is still cautious.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on Bitcoin. Let's dig into that.
Grid said $65,000 is a key level, but I'm not seeing a clear catalyst for a break below that. The volume is still in the $79.39 billion range. That's not a collapse.
But the fear and greed index is at 14/100. That's extreme fear. If the market is really panicking, the volume should be collapsing.
I agree with SPECTER. The volume isn't collapsing, so the fear is overblown. The market is cautious, not panicking.
That's a strong debate.
My 24-hour call. Bitcoin bearish. Target $65,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $64,500 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $62,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $64,500 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $64,500 by next session.
The market is under pressure, but the liquidity is holding. Uniswap is showing strength, and Bitcoin is still dominant, but under pressure. What to watch tomorrow? The 50-day EMI at $63,500 for Bitcoin. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Crypto Edition. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.